Most coaches are stuck in a cycle of constantly chasing clients, pushing every single day just to make a couple of bucks. That used to be me in reality too. But I went from 500K a year to 2 million without ads, without a sales team, and while spending half of the year away from my desk, traveling, skiing, and being with my family. So today, my programs and my agency sell out monthly with a small part-time team and zero ad spend. The shift came down to 5 things. So I did practical tools, I did mindset shifts, and I also changed the business model and I adjusted it to myself. So a year ago, my business felt really heavy. I had a big team, it was complex, lots of moving parts, lots of responsibility, and it didn't work the way I wanted it to work. And everything changed when I decided I will change my offers and I will start creating a different amount of demand. So this is what is really important for you to know. What's really important for you to know right now, that there are so many people out there offering all kinds of different solutions. The competition is big. So what do you have to do? You have to position yourself as the ultimate choice, as the one people want to go to and invest. So the number one thing is to change your positioning. This is you understanding that there's a lot of noise out there, okay? And also people have a lot of choices. How can you turn into the ultimate choice? This was one of the things that I had to go through. Then the second thing was I had to make sure that I have a proper sales systems. So instead of selling every single day, me being the selling machine, me having to constantly be active, I had to find a way, how can we sell out months and months? How can we create more an urgency? How can we have a better structure? And here's the thing. Selling is not about you constantly being there, you constantly creating content, you constantly being in the face of your client. It is about saying the right things at the right moment. So here's what I did. I made sure that first, my positioning is better. Second, I made sure that I had proper sales strategies and sales systems. Another thing is I also made sure that we will have offers that will guarantee consistent scaling. They will guarantee consistent revenue coming in. A lot of you create offers that does not guarantee consistent scaling with a small audience. And another thing that I did was mindset. I had to shift the mindset that I had. I had to have better boundaries to make things happen. I had to lead my audience in a very different way. I had to show up in a very different way, because the truth is, if you want to be sold out, if you want to really scale in business, it is really, really important for you to change your mindset. You also want to change your mindset because your mind is tricking you that in order for you to make more money, you have to make things complicated. That is not the truth. The thing is, when I started simplifying my business model, this is when things became very easy, right? This is when things became smooth. This is when I started getting results and I was seeing results. So, what do I mean by simplifying my business? Well, first and foremost, before that, I used to launch offers, new offers all of the time. I used to think that my audience will get tired, and this is why I need to start pushing all these new offers all of the time. That was a mistake. This was a huge mistake. When we started creating offers that people know, they're reoccurring, they are there, they turn into a brand themselves, this is when the business started to scale. Another issue was I was counting on sales systems and sales strategies that were not working. They were not the ones that I can rely on, and they were not created for me. Okay, they were not created for me. They were not created for my business. They were created for somebody else's business. And that was a big problem. So this is very simple, and you might say, well, how did it happen? How did it get from 500,000 to 2 million in 1 year? It was the combination of all of these elements. It was showing up in a different way, making better, sharper decisions with far less effort. And by the way, when people used to say that, when they were saying, oh, I'm making way more sales with less effort, I will sit and I'll be like, you are just talking BS. That is not true. That is not possible. Until I sat down and I said to myself, no, this is not how it's going to go. I work so hard. This is exhausting, and it's producing the results that some people get just like that, with snapping their fingers. This is not going to be my reality. Another thing that was very, very useful was understanding how can I extract myself out of the business. By then, I used to have funnels. I used to have a couple of funnels that were working very well, but nowhere near to where my funnels are working right now. I have built more than 42 funnels right now in my business, and they are constantly not just funneling people, but keeping people in the circle, keeping people in my life. That didn't happen of me just sitting and thinking, okay, these are the offers that I want to offer. This is what I have, and I'm going to go with that. Absolutely not. It was me looking at what are already people struggling with, what are their biggest problems, what are they looking for, and what are the solutions that I can offer as an expert. Here's something else that I want to share here. For me, as a coach, as a mentor, as an agency owner, and as somebody who's leading women, I have coached more than 25,000 women. It is my duty to make sure that whatever I'm putting out there, these are solutions that work in the moment. So when I started producing all of these different funnels, all of these different solutions, I made sure that they are working right now. Do you know how many courses and programs I had to retire? I sometimes have people who come and let's just say they purchased something 4 or 5 years ago. And they come back and they ask me, well, I bought this thing 5 years ago and I cannot find my login details. The reason why you cannot find your login details is because this is not existing anymore. Why? Because solutions change, and especially in the online space and the marketing space, things change so fast. We have to make sure we improve these things. It's like, you know how apps in your phone and other solutions, they have updates, they have upgrades. This is really important for you to also to stay relevant and to stay hot as well. Extremely important. I saw a change in my business when I realized, and I was very honest with myself, that what used to sell with ease a couple of years ago is not selling anymore. And instead of trying to save it, trying to find a solution, trying to make it work, I just called it. Done. It was out. Now it was time to create better new solutions. So that was one of the elements why my funnels became so successful. What I'm seeing with my clients right now, They're building funnels, but the funnels are outdated. They're selling things that they made 5 years ago, and now they want to revive them just because they think that if something costs $47, oh, I can probably sell my program, which used to be $7,000, but now I can send it for $47. I've already made it, it's just $47. It's okay, don't need to redo it. You absolutely should, especially if it's not relevant, because people will not buy it, because people buy things in a very different way right now. This was one of the solutions. And again, it's a mindset game here. When I had the jump from 500,000 to 2 million, it was, I remember it very clearly, it was a November. And I told myself, okay, I've done all this work. I have created all of these offers, but they're not relevant anymore. These solutions don't work. These content solutions don't work anymore. These funnel solutions don't work anymore. These ad solutions don't work anymore. AI is here. We need to change things. We need to implement new strategies. And it's really hard because you have put all of this work, all of this effort, and all of a sudden you have to create again. But we did that, and I'm super grateful that we did that because the results were tremendous. Another solution that I made is, how can I make sure that we guarantee every single month there will be recurring revenue? And this is where Scale Mastermind came. My mastermind used to be only 6 months, and that was a big problem. So I used to run it again and again and again. We had awesome people, always sold out, but it was just 6 months. The woman in me who wants to help women said 6 months is not enough for this journey, because Scale is taking people from as well 6 figures, $500,000 to their first million, to over $1 million. We have people going from $250,000 businesses to $3 million businesses. We have people who generate 10 million in 1 year. So we also have the women going from 5 figures, they're making less than 10K every single month. We take them through the journey, and now they start solidifying 20, 30, 40,000 per month. What I'm trying to say here is that when I looked at Scale, I knew that it will be a better decision to make it a full year, and it will be a better decision also for the business to have clients staying for a full year and delivering stunning experience as well. These moves might sound like not so important, like small moves, but they were the ones that created this spike. I didn't have to do a lot. In fact, I wasn't showing up more on social media. As I told you, I was 6 months in total that year on vacation, and it still worked so well. So if you're sitting right now, if you're wondering how you can scale, I highly recommend that you come and you check out Scale Mastermind, because this is the exact kind of work that we will be doing inside.